1. There is no such thing as stealing on the internet. As Wikipedia states, the internet is a place where people distribute information through servers publicly. I don't know what that means to you, but it means you can get anything and say it's yours as long as you don't get money for it.
48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking. Growl! Growl! 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking.
Permission to look back at it, sir! Sir, permission to do tricks on it!
Permission granted. Permission to get silly with it, sir.
Me and the girlfriend yell at... She in particular yells at her dog when he's like walking away and she's like, get away from me, you gross bitch. And like the dog looks back. She's like, don't look back at it! Who told you could look back at it?
Sir, sorry, sir. What happened again, sir?
That's right. So
welcome to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking. My name's Jason. This is Brian.
we are the sons of the hogs you could not crank. Yeah, that's the phrase. That's the words. Those are the words. We're just kind of doing an improvisational, loose thing here because
it's a very strange week so far. Right?
Yeah, we said going off the rails, sir. There were no rails to begin with.
I do have a few things though. A couple things came to my attention this week.
The dick and balls are completely out.
Yes, just hog out. It's all good. So I was on TikTok multiple times this week because every once in a while I go, I wonder what's going on over there. And then usually I go, why the fuck did I do this?
Yeah.
But the one thing I did notice was that there were a bunch of people talking about Chase Bank. And so I did a little digging. So according to NaNoWriMo, August 29th, a Twitter user, I don't feel none, posted a picture of a Chase Bank ATM showing an increased deposit fund availability of more than $80,000, captioning it, quote, "This run been personal." The post suggested a possible glitch that made money appear in the user's bank account. A lot of people saw it, and then word started to get around about the Chase Bank glitch. The Chase Bank glitch is essentially you put a check in, it's instantly available, so even if it's a fraudulent check, you take that money out and haha, I got your money. No, that's just check fraud. It's just check fraud. People were opening Chase Bank accounts just to commit check fraud.
Folks. God. Amazing. Just brainworm shit. I saw this and like, I remember when doing stuff like this was like finding a glitch in like the Microsoft points system and using it to get free Xbox 360 controllers.
Yeah.
It feels relatively harmless compared to committing check fraud.
Yeah, with your name and social attached to it, as opposed to just and this video here, Twitter user @ScubaRyan. Okay. People are currently lined up outside of Chase Bank in New York trying to do the new viral glitch to get free money.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, they can only let the people in the bank one by one. People were, responding on TikTok, no, that's fraud and you're going to jail, that kind of thing. The New York Post got involved. They did an article here. It says TikTokers are trying to exploit a Chase Bank glitch and discovering it comes with a cost. Yeah, experts say the glitch looks an awful lot like check fraud. And Chase quickly fixed whatever bug there actually was. And a spokesperson for Chase told the Post consumers should be skeptical. And if something seems too good to be true, it likely is. Quote, "We are aware of this incident and it has been addressed regardless of what you see online. Depositing a fraudulent check and withdrawing the funds from your account is fraud, plain and simple." And of course, that didn't stop people from then posting their negative account balances showing $40,000 in arrears to Chase Bank.
Why would you line up let a bank fuck you in the ass when a bank fuck you in the ass every day?
Yeah, for free.
For free. You just wake up and the bank is there. No Vaseline.
Yeah.
Just ready to raw dog you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And then when you die, go after your next of kin.
Right.
And be like, You know, that house your dad bought.
So what's good? Yeah.
Good. There's something I like about you that seems familiar. I'm going to economically rip you.
Essentially, yeah. So 2 pieces of AI nonsense happening this week. We've covered NaNoWriMo on the show before. I believe the episode's title is even something like a Doctor Who Sonic Mpreg or something like that.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to that, go back to the archives. Definitely find it there. It's a lot easier to search on Patreon than it is on Spotify, just saying.
Yeah, so you should give us $5.
Something like that. So NaNoWriMo has a bit of a rep as being... some NaNoWriMo pieces have been, let's just say, I'm generous here, phoned in a bit. Well, NaNoWriMo is starting in 2 months, and so the organizers decided to get out ahead of this and release a statement about how they felt about using AI to hit your goal. In a headline, what is NaNoWriMo's position on artificial intelligence? We believe that to categorically condemn AI would be to ignore classist and ableist issues surrounding the use of the technology, and that questions around the use of AI tie to questions around privilege. It's classist and ableist to not use it, actually.
So there's some people out there that'll probably never be like good writers,
Sure,
or even competent. But isn't like part of the whole point of NaNoWriMo to like just do the damn thing?
Yeah.
And you're not ever going to get to your capacity in any sort of hobby or art or discipline if you don't fucking try.
Yeah.
Roshi Suzuki, who founded the San Francisco Zen Center, once gave a talk. One of my favorite Zen talks about being the worst horse. And in that talk, I'm going to summarize it as best as I can.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The point
yeah.
is that we often think of the best horse as being the most ideal because that is the horse that runs the fastest. That is the horse that begins to gallop before the whip even hits its hide. But perhaps the worst horse is the horse that should be most valuable because that is the horse that has the most potential for greatness. Because it has not reached its potential. It has the capacity to be better than its current state, whereas the best horse
can get no better.
Yes.
Okay.
I often think about that talk quite a bit in many things in life.
Yeah.
And fuck AI, because it's also Brad Warren, who's an American Zen master, often talks. He's got some opinions that I don't love, but I think he also gets to the center of some things. He always thought the idea of like using psychedelics to kind of like cheat code your way to enlightenment or whatever is kind of like climbing up the mountain, but then just using a helicopter to get up to the top.
Yeah.
Where you're cheating yourself out of so much experience and knowledge by just kind of like hoping that like if you do LSD and listen to a record that doesn't suck, that you might
trick your brain into
what's your intention? Because
Right.
if your intention was to just kind of like skip ahead, was your pursuit even really like noble or sincere?
Yeah, chances are the answer is no.
Yeah. So I feel like this is a weird cop-out.
Well, especially because the entire point is to knuckle down, do it in 30 days, do it yourself, do this thing that you can be proud of, have an accomplishment on your on your bona fides or whatever you want to use it for. Some people try to use it to get a publishing contract. Some people just do it to do it.
Sure.
But, getting assistance from ChatGPT doesn't really feel like you're doing it.
Right. And I think there are perhaps ways you could use ChatGPT that is productive. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, what is considered to be a good 3-act structure? When you're asking, like, questions you would ask a teacher. Like, I had to write a cover letter for a job application a couple months ago, and I ended up using an AI to kind of just give me the bones for it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what a cover letter looks like. And then I was able to fucking knock the whole thing out. Yeah. I think that's a little bit different than...
Well, yeah, it's one thing to use it to understand structure, and it's another one to say, yeah, write me 50,000 words on, this.
On Rainbow Dash getting impregnated by Two-Face.
Right, exactly. One of the best things I've read on this so far today was Aftermath, Riley McLeod. You don't need AI to write a novel. And the subhead, AI isn't a privilege issue no matter what National Novel Writing Month says. He briefly outlines what we just said there in about the third or fourth paragraph. How precisely Nano thinks AI will help people who haven't had the aforementioned privileges isn't quite spelled out. Is someone without the, quote, financial ability to engage a human for feedback and review going to use the AI to evaluate their writing? Something the technology cannot meaningfully do? Are the, quote, underrepresented minorities who are less likely to be offered traditional publishing contracts going to use AI to publish their book? I don't know what this would even look like, nor how it would fix, quote, the indie author space, which inequitably creates upfront cost burdens. The idea that AI is some kind of assistive technology akin to dictation software or alt text feels naive to me when you consider how the entire system is built on theft and the ultimate aim of profiting the rich with ableism already baked into its very core. One paragraph hits the nail, fucking done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. McLeod.
I also think taking a slightly wider viewpoint of things, a friend of the show, Ed Zitron, said very eloquently on Twitter a couple days ago, and I will kind of paraphrase here because I'm not going to take the time to look it up on my phone, but basically that the neoliberal hellscape that we live in has robbed us from the ability to enjoy these hobbies and these creative pursuits. So in lieu of that, we have AI as kind of like this turd being jammed into a toilet as the solution. We have robbed ourselves of joy, and now all we have is the artifice of an artifice.
Yep. It's a photograph of a photograph. Well, more AI nonsense hit the timeline this week. The AI solopreneur posting, yesterday a Chinese company released an alarmingly advanced text-to-video AI Minimax. Okay. The video that they decided, it's like a Hollywood studio in your pocket, 10 mind-bending examples. And this is the first video they chose to represent their product. Okay? It's 8 seconds long, but listen carefully.
You want a sword fight, man? Come on, I'll sword fight you, man. I'll sword fight you.
You're going to sword fight me?
So it ostensibly shows Darth Maul and Darth Vader on a nondescript alien planet wiggling lightsabers like they're cocks, and there's this.
They are kind of going tip to tip near the end as they get closer and closer. It's very unsettling and aggressive.
And the voice that they're using for Darth,
fight me.
You want to sword fight me, man? What the fuck is this? This is the first one. This is 17.9 million views of this. Okay.
It's unintentionally amazing.
It only gets worse. Now here, of course, at Tyler Duran 21, here's an improved version where he replaces the dub with Beavis and Butthead. Nothing cannot be improved with the addition of Beavis and Butthead, especially boing.
You've seen The Legend of Beavis, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Okay. You showed me that. That was
Good.
fantastic. Yeah.
Any single time I have an opportunity to pitch that, I feel like it must be taken.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, by the way, find that on YouTube. I'll put the link in the show description so you can enjoy The Legend of Beavis. Let's see here. There's a few more. The awful giant robot fight in the middle of the ocean was like, okay, yeah. So we took still frames from Pacific Rim and made them worse.
Yeah, this is, you know what? And here's the thing. None of these look any worse than the Minecraft trailer. The Minecraft trailer was one of those things where I felt like I was like breathing in the exhaust of like a busted ass Chevy celebrity.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the final moments, and
those are the last synapses of my brain firing before I just go into the great sleep.
Look at you, girl. We gotta get them blocks, Kyle.
Oh wait, he can't say Kyle's name anymore because he's because Kyle did nothing wrong. But
Look at you, girl. My name's Steve.
Just shut the fuck up, dude. I already don't like Minecraft for a lot of reasons.
I was at my sister's for Labor Day. Family thing.
Yeah.
And Thankfully, her 2 girls are not really like iPad kids,
Oh, good.
but they do have iPads. And it was just really weird listening to my 2 nieces who are not, I would call like nerdy. They're very like into sports and like smart, but not like consumer smart, which is I kind of feel like what a lot of kids are now. And like my sister bargaining with the older of the 2 about Minecraft time, and I really just want to be like, the fuck you want, like, really?
Yeah. What do you want?
Is this how I'm like thinking, like, is this how my sister felt when I was her age, her daughter's age, and like bargaining with my dad to play like Twisted Metal 2 with me?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like wondering, I'm like, no, because Twisted Metal 2 objectively whipped ass.
Yeah.
Minecraft fucking sucks.
Yeah, it just and the movie thing, and of course because it's a movie adaptation, they got things wrong, and I'm about to hear for the next month from my son.
Your son.
I know.
Your son's gonna be punching the shit out of the bathtub.
I can't fucking believe it.
Fucking
knock it off in there. Yeah, just go away.
Give him some fucking boxing gloves. You're gonna keep doing this shit. Don't fucking break your hand.
That's true. My favorite one, though, aside from the Beavis and Butthead remix, is this one. It's 2 AI women on a bed in skimpy outfits, one holding a guitar, not even fingering a chord, with the sign in the other hand saying, "We are not real," and the accompanying song that goes with it. The other one is holding sparklers inside. And there's one of them smooching. They turned into the Thing there. You see that? With
That
the
was,
hands
yeah,
just
I mean,
moving.
like you already see the subtle hallucinations in this video.
Yeah.
The things are just so unsettling. But the fucking like weird like theater kid hands that appeared in the middle of her chest for just a split second.
Rick Baker ass, hot girls in your area. It's just a taste of things to come, and I fucking hate it.
It's not gonna get any better, Jason.
I know.
All right. Speaking of things that are never gonna get better,
Yep. It's Crypto Scam of the Week.
it's a
time.
scam of the week, baby.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
I was thinking, like, what were we going to do this week? I don't really pay attention to crypto because it feels like it's the same 5 things of bullshit over and over right now.
Yeah.
It's very boring. It's very stupid. You sent me something, and this isn't necessarily new.
No,
in
it's a
some
classic.
respects,
Yeah.
But, like, it came from someone I didn't expect. I expected, like, Daryl Strawberry. I didn't
Right.
expect Mr. Dean fucking Norris.
Yes. Yeah, Dean.
Who tweeted earlier, was it today?
That's what's today. Yeah, it was
Today,
about 9 a.m. or
been
so.
messing around with Tron, and my friends at Sun Pump Meme gave me the idea of launching my own coin. Don't know what I'm doing, and I've lost a couple hundred, but I'm having fun. Crying laugh emoji. Hashtag Schrader, now available on the Tron chain. And it's a sunpump.meme link and a photo of Hank Schrader or Dean Norris as Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad.
Right.
Yeah,
It's very bad.
yeah, it's there. I mean, the jokes kind of write themselves.
Right. Yeah.
What I say, you're the smartest man I know, Walt,
Yeah.
and you can't realize this man pulled liquidity 10 minutes ago.
Hank,
Hank, don't do it.
don't put your funds in a shitcoin, Hank. But as it turns out, like a lot of these things, this was not actually Dean Norris getting in on this. It was, in fact, somebody had gotten access to his account, posted all the shit. Within the hour, Dean Norris had regained control of his account, didn't mention it, just deleted all the posts and moved on. Which is probably the right thing to do, to be honest. The more you give fuel to this shit, the more it's going to... I have not seen that token at all. The last I saw of it, when it first hit, nobody put money in it because it was the post was up for like 30-40 minutes. It wasn't long enough for people to like go nuts about it. Yeah, see, like it's not even showing up on all of it.
Yeah, wow, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not. It's not showing up anywhere. I mean, Tron itself is like 15 cents, but
Tron might end up being probably one of the weirdest frauds in crypto, and I do not have the time nor the interest to explain it. But just know that one day there probably will be like some dudes like fleeing to France or Belize or something.
Yeah.
Never hear from them again.
Non-extradition treaty countries, yeah. So it was the pump and dump that never was, huh? Just didn't show up at all.
Yeah, there's nothing there. We can move forward.
Whew. Well, he wasn't the only one. Donald Trump's daughter-in-law and daughter were apparently hacked Tuesday evening, this was yesterday, to promote a token purportedly tied to World Liberty Financial, this according to CoinDesk. Lara and Tiffany Trump, the wife of Eric and daughter of Donald, tweeted what they described as, quote, the only official. They're back on this only official thing. There's so many different ones.
It's the official way to get fucking fleeced by a hoodlum family.
Yep. So it is a Solana token, cash sign WL. It says to support our DeFi lending protocol. Lara Trump's post goes, I'm excited to finally be able to speak on World Liberty Financial, the project I've been working on alongside my husband at Eric Trump. I would first like to oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's fucking, I mean, what is it? What?
These are Trumps here.
These are Trumps, and even the fact that they're opening themselves up for people to scam like this, the hacking their Twitter accounts and project this kind of scam and have it be believable when the patriarch of this family is running in a fucking general election.
Yeah,
it's absurdity beyond the pale.
Yeah,
that we can even get to this and have it be feasible. That this could be. I believe it. If I had seen it, if I had seen this tweet on his live, yeah, that sounds right.
Well,
and there's even some cards of me holding some Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, whatever it is you guys like.
Have fun with your crypto,
or whatever you
have fun with your crypto, boys,
or whatever you're playing with. I think is what he said.
Have fun playing with your crypto.
But yes, like all things that have come up in this capacity, it was, of course, not true. Just like DJT, just like any of these other ones. These hacks came hours after CoinDesk revealed details of World Liberty's plans, including the fact that it's a borrowing and lending DeFi platform that plans to issue token WLFI. The project does not have an official launch date. The white paper indicated that Donald Trump will be, quote, chief crypto advocate.
Boy, that last line, though, is you're really kind of missing
Oh,
something.
yeah, sorry.
Eric, Donald Jr., and Barron Trump all have roles as well. So he's got all of his fail sons lined up for this weird thing that it can't go in any direction other than fraudulent.
No, there's nothing else there. I mean, yeah, because it previously worked with Doe Finance, which got drained for $2 million in July. One also founded Date Hotter Girls LLC. That was the part I was trying to remember. It was Date Hotter Girls.
Amazing.
LLC. Couldn't get the S Corp on that one, huh? Okay.
No, they couldn't.
Wonder why. And one last crypto thing. I know this is probably not true. I think it's all just smoke and mirrors. But someone on, I think this was something awful. CIA own all the unsold Satoshi Nakamoto Bitcoin. There's good theories as to why the CIA were the ones who invented Bitcoin. My favorite clue is that the name meaning of Satoshi is intelligence and Nakamoto is central. And so Satoshi, knowledge, wisdom, okay. And Nakamoto, central origin or one who lives in the middle. So central intelligence. I don't know, man.
The first response from Jawbrokes or Jake Broads here of his own tweet. This is like when Peter tries to give a fake name in Family Guy and looks around and panicked and look. Ugh. This is like when Peter tries to give a fake name in Family Guy and looks around, panicked, sees a P and goes P, sees a woman crying, goes Tia, and then a winged lion bursts through the window and he goes Griffin, yeah, Pia Griffin. Ah, shit.
Yeah. Pete, Tia, Griffin. Yeah, it's just, it's, I don't know if it's true. It feels real enough. You know, it's one of those vibes-based assessments I have to make every once in a while. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to roll with this one, sure. I'm just imagining the briefing, like at the end of Burn After Reading, though. Like, what the fuck did we learn? Not to do it again? Yeah.
God, Burn After Reading, I feel like is one. I've only seen that movie probably 3 or 4 times, but each time I like it more. When I worked at Blockbuster and rented it as a pre-street,
Yeah.
I was like, it's okay.
Right.
And then the second time, like, okay. And the last time I watched it, I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, I think a lot of what people consider like the lesser Coens do that, where they have this, something's in there, and you have to catch it a couple times to let it all sink in. Because I was not impressed by The Big Lebowski when I first saw it. And a lot of people are like, what? I'm like, well, I mean, I guess I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I wasn't like really ripped or anything, you know. I wasn't like thinking that this is like some stoner or like a neo-noir movie or anything. And the more I see it, the more like, okay.
The first time I saw Fargo was like, oh, this is brilliant. You're a fucking liar!
Oh, you're having sex with the little fella then. Yeah, there's just a lot of that has just Francis McDormand and William H. Macy just doing their level best. And I love a Peter Stormare appearance too. But
the fucking George Clooney sex chair.
The sex chair. Oh my god.
Cost him about $100 in parts, excluding the dildo.
It's just going in the background of the scene. And your eye is drawn to it every time. It's mesmerizing. You can't not watch
Brad Pitt acting his absolute fucking stupidest.
Oh, I love it. I love him as an idiot. He sells it really well because I feel like that's more honest than anything else.
I have heard that his role in 13 Monkeys is true, at least at the time. Okay, true to like his honest self.
Little twigged out,
just like real twitchy, little intense.
Okay,
little. Oh, did you learn that in school?
I knew a couple of guys like that. Yeah, that felt real. But you know what else doesn't feel real? The main topic of our episode tonight. Ebaumsworld.com.
When you don't have thick enough skin for something awful, but you're too annoying for FARC, there's always Ebaumsworld, which is, I think, probably the closest to the scraping the barrel of the internet.
If you've heard us talk about FARC, if you've heard us talk about Albino Black Sheep, or any one of these sites, yes, it is a collaborative, user-generated type of site. And, you know, it's very similar, except for a couple of major things. And we'll get to that, because it is probably the most hated website up until it got bought out.
I want to say the most hated website until Reddit. I'm not joking.
No, it's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
The Lemon Demon never wrote a song about Reddit, and we'll get there. One of these.
Where do you even begin with this shit show?
I know. One of these has the actual history of the site, and it's an old Wired magazine article, which is how you know something really reached the zeitgeist. This is from 2006. The headline, "Dude, that is so not funny," by David Kushner. The subhead, Eric Bauman made big bucks posting other people's homemade gross-out videos to his website. Now the geeks whose clips he swiped on the way up are trying to knock him down, and we'll get there. So Eric Bauman, he describes him as a diminutive, unshaven 26-year-old in a t-shirt and khakis. Bauman has short, dark hair, bushy eyebrows, and a passing resemblance to a Baldwin brother. He expertly assesses a photo being shown to him by a coworker there. It's original, way more interesting than the usual cock and balls and bitch scrawls that typically end up decorating the faces of people who pass out on a fraternity couch. It's clear, crisp, well lit. Heck, it's just flat out hilarious. The dude looks like he crawled out of Bigfoot's ass, Bauman thinks. He pivots and gives Ronaldo the thumbs up sign. The shot will be posted on Ebaumsworld, the insanely popular and profitable website for goofy homebrewed media that has made Bauman the king of dot comedy. Yowza, what a paragraph.
Ooh, it hurts.
A lot of people think the stuff on his site is sophomoric, tasteless, offensive, and just plain dumb, and it is, but everyone loves a good sideshow, and Bauman is the master carny of the online world. Again, okay. Without spending a penny on direct advertising, he turned his high school hobby ran out of the bedroom into one of the internet's top-ranked humor sites, getting 1.2 million hits a day. There's a television pilot in the can, a book deal in negotiation, and a potential pact to bring Ebaum content to cell phones. Ad revenue over the past year doubled to $10 million, and the only overhead is bandwidth and salaries. He has 30 employees who handle coding, marketing, financial affairs, and assorted office details. He drives a shiny black Porsche Carrera. Besides gobbling up real estate around town and gas wells in Kentucky, he sponsors heavyweight boxing champ Hasim the Rock Rahman. Probably the least deserving guy to have this happen.
This guy makes Maddox look like fucking Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa wasn't even that great.
Right. So there's a lot going on here. The basics of the story are a lot of like the basics of any website that deals in content that's not yours. You trawl message boards, you go to something awful, you go to 4chan, you find what's funny, you post it on your own site, put ads on the site, and you make money from it. It's a tale as old as time. Happens all the time. But for whatever reason, Ebaumsworld got the ire of a lot more people online, and I think part of it was Eric Bauman being a jackass.
Yeah, just a big shithead. I think that's the big takeaway I've gotten from Ebaumsworld, despite having spent so little time directly interacting. Is like, oh, the guy who runs it is a huge fucking major league chode.
Yes, it's one thing. The You're the Man Now Dog Wiki cites them as they're a source of controversy because more than once they've removed watermarks from other sites and replaced it with the Ebaumsworld logo. It's one thing to present content that's not your own. It's another thing to act like it is your own. And this happens time and time and time again. So Ebaumsworld built on stolen content. They got bought by Handheld Entertainment for $15 million in cash. Handheld, one of the earliest names in viral video, deals with AOL Video, Facebook, Fox Mobile, and others. Ebaums will get $15 million in cash when the deal closes, plus $2.5 million in stock, and another $2.5 million in stock if targets or reached that, according to Mashable, when the sale went down. Eric Bauman, he's got fuck you money, and he went ahead and was really shitty about things. He got a cease and desist from Fox for the video of the lady stomping grapes and falling down.
Yeah.
Dear owner of Ebaumsworld Inc. This is from the official legal notice. Fox Television Stations is the exclusive owner of copyright and other intellectual rights in and to the footage used in connection with its news programming. We recently discovered your website contains footage from the Atlanta television station WAGA without authorization from Fox. So they tell him, to remove it. We're going to take legal action otherwise. I think they did for that one, but for the most part, they were not really keen to do that unless threatened. The timeline of controversies. This is the thing that I think is the funniest. Like, you're a real piece of shit when your timeline of controversies is longer than any other biographical information that people have.
And it's also being hosted on Newgrounds.
Well, there's that
the
too.
Newgrounds wiki. Yeah.
Yeah. When Newgrounds is coming after you, you've really fucked up. So, 2003, Eric Bauman had been threatened by a large number of corporations, mostly involving trademark names, copyrighted material. One was about soundboards. Hasbro sent Ebaumsworld a letter claiming that the G.I. Joe parody videos, originally by Fensler Film, which we have covered on this show, violated their trade. The videos were not removed since Fensler Film didn't face any legal action, neither did Ebaum. Something Awful forum members who participated in Photoshop Fridays found their work on Ebaumsworld, and there was a lot of dusting up about that. Sega threatened to sue Ebaumsworld after a copy of the game Super Monkey Ball was posted on the site. It was not only was the Flash-based game posted on the site, it was hot linked, meaning it just displayed a web page that linked directly to Sega. So all that traffic, instead of getting
right. So you're just fucking siphoning all that bandwidth from Sega.
Most of Ebaum's detractors take this as direct proof that Ebaumsworld employees knowingly host stolen material, and screenshots of the page loading text and page source code are easy to find using a search engine. The page was removed, and eventually it was replaced with an image of Eric Estrada pointing the viewer in the text, "You're a homo." Like, why Eric Estrada? I think we had an Eric Estrada fixation.
Very short period of time in the mid-aughts.
Because the Chips uniform. Because there was always him in the Chips from that show. This is the bit about You're the Man Now, Dog. They hosted and watermarked a Lindsay Lohan montage created by Derek Lutz, a.k.a. YTMND user SpliceVW, while crediting neither himself nor You're the Man Now, Dog. You're the Man Now, Dog users fucked with their forums, spam posts, DDoS, all that fun stuff. Ebaumsworld says, "Oh, this is a form of cyber terrorism." Neil Bauman, the dad, states publicly that arrests were being made in retaliation to the attack. Nothing ever actually came about that. Max Goldberg, the owner of You're the Man Now, Dog, and Neil Bauman came to agreement. Bauman agreed to remove the montage from his website. Goldberg removed any reference of Ebaum from his website. February 2006, Michael Parker appeared on G4's Attack of the Show to clear up the whole You're the Man Now, Dog. Kevin Pereira, co-host of the show, asked him explicit questions about the alleged infringing Parker, claiming, quote, "There aren't any written rules or regulations. We're trying to do our due diligence and do the things that we feel are right by not taking other people's material without crediting them or contacting them first. We try to contact all these people. If we see something we like a game, we don't just put it on our site. We contact these people. And if you notice with all our new Flash games, we have our own intro in them, and it's done by the creators, and we pay them for that." But in true Ebaumsworld fashion, in May of that same year, more shit from Something Awful forums started showing up. And they were cropped to remove a watermark that they had put on there with a little grenade logo, cropped to remove it and replaced.
Actually, I think at that time the watermark was just somethingawful.com in the corner, and the grenade watermark was the response to that.
Oh, that makes more sense, yeah. Let's see here. Albino Black Sheep.
The greatest hits.
I know. Yeah, Alan Becker, the creator of the Flash animation, Animator versus Animation, would take legal action against Ebaumsworld. And let's see here. Lerner and Becker, that's Stephen Lerner of Albino Black Sheep. Lerner and Becker had used the MochiBot Flash tracking tool to track who used the animation on their websites. The Flash was posted on Ebaumsworld. It had been decompiled, and the line hosted on albinoblacksheep.com had been removed from the code. On June 9th, Bauman sent Becker a check for $250, as well as entering him into a monthly contest of which Becker was the de facto winner in hopes of having any legal charges dropped.
This is sad.
That's so sad, dude.
This is so upsetting.
So because of all these things, and I mean, there's more, but because of all these things, a good number of artists obviously were trashing Ebaumsworld. A website was created called Ebaumsworldsucks.com. In the first version of the site, just this Flash animation by users Alt F4 and Trapezoid, with music by Neil Cicierega, also known as Lemon Demon.
On the internet there was a guy, a very deeply flawed man. They called him Eric Bauman. He was a total asshole, and nobody knows why. He traveled all around on the pulse of each phenomenon, from something awful on the park with his trusty watermark. He stole and stuck it all upon Ebaumsworld.com. It wasn't fair to those from whom he stole, but did he care? No, not one bit. And then he had the nerve to sell some ads. What a piece of shit. Oh, Eric.
We had never been the biggest fan of Ebaum, seeing as he's making a living off thievery, but he crossed the line when he posted malicious code on the front of Ebaumsworld, which caused anyone visiting his site to call pages from Something Awful, wasting bandwidth. This was a direct attack, which is illegal, and it is sad to know that it will go unpunished. You know, at the bottom of Ebaumsworld, where it says you can ask to have your content removed. They just ignored the emails. All admins, owners, and moderators of Ebaum are scam artists, whether or not they think so. Spread the word about Ebaum. It may be true we won't be able to shut him down, but I'd like to be partially responsible for him making less money. Fuck you, Ebaum. www.somethingawful.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is such a insane throwback.
Well, the fact that they're, hailing Lotax as a hero.
Yeah. And this was post Mangosteen. Was this pre Uva Bowl?
Well, 2005. So, yeah, I think.
I can't remember when that was exactly. Was that 2005 or 2006? But yes, this was still a period of time when people had generally a positive viewpoint of low tax. Hard to think of that happening now, but
yeah,
15 years ago was a wild ass thing.
February 2006, Eric Bauman contacted us and demanded we take down ebaumsworldsucks.com. As you can see, we did not comply. In fact, we demanded he make changes on his own site if he wants us to stop. For this reason, we're asking for anyone who had their content stolen or knows of someone whose content has been stolen or otherwise used without permission to contact us. They give an email, which is proof@ebaumsworld.sucks.com, and then they included the chat log of that conversation, which is mostly pro forma kind of boring stuff. But what do I need to do to get the animation removed? Ebaum says. Alt4 responds, I can't see that happening. Ebaum, why not? Alt F4, because I spent a lot of time on it, and it can't exactly spread the word if it is not for viewing. I don't think there is anything you can do to get me to remove this animation from the internet. Ebaum, I'm not asking you to remove the animation from the internet, and obviously there's no way for me to make you remove it. Alt F4, then what are you asking, brah? Ebaum, I'm asking you to stop hosting it on the domain you're hosting it on. Alt F4, why? Alt F4 also, here, I'll make you a deal. Ebaum, and not to mention, there may be a small percentage of your animation that may be true. Huh? We try our hardest to give credit where it's due. You're giving us a bad name. Alt F4, you delete everything from your website and work from the bottom up with all new, all original content, and I will forward the domain to your website. Ebaum, it's very easy for us to put a link up giving credit to the original author. You'll find it all over our site. Alt F4, oh, Crimea River, you only started credit since I called you out on it.
Very much so. I'm sorry we got caught.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry that we're getting our comeuppance.
Yeah, it goes on for a bit. Alt F4 does have 3 final questions. Do you think your website is wrong in any way? Did you post a review on Newgrounds about my Flash? How much money do you make on average? Ebaum, well, very possible. I'm not perfect. No, I have not. And he doesn't answer the question about how much money he makes.
A lot, which is the answer. Yeah.
Alt F4 gets the last word. Ebaum, I hope you like coming off as a douchebag on your high horse who does nothing but dodge questions and feign ignorance. Yep, Ebaumsworld, not great. A lot of content thievery happening. A lot of people saying, here's a short list of complaints worth 1,000. Had a few things taken from there. Yeah. Here's S.A. Whitman saying, I used to simply slap my name in the corner of some old Photoshops. You couldn't really find it unless you were looking for it. He took several of them, found my name, clone brushed over it, and put the logo in a different corner. Yeah, I've seen one of my Photoshops on his site. Here's Greg Nork. Emailed him, got no response. Next time I pop out something high quality that I know will end up on his site, I am registering it with the Copyright Office and taking his ass to court. It's fascinating. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can steal without having a big, bad fucking problem. I don't know, dude. Were you ever on eBay? I mean, I know you said you were on it 15 minutes or so.
I never really spent any time on it at all. And I felt like that really was the worst.
Yeah.
As far as that sort of subculture on the internet, E-bombs was the bottom of the barrel. You really couldn't get any worse. Maybe Beast forums, where it was people taking second tier Disney animation properties and being I'd really like to fuck the horse from that. It's you know what? No one needs to know about that.
Yeah.
No one needs to know about your Spirit fan fiction.
Oh, Spirit the horse? Oh,
yeah,
God,
we don't. The world is there is no want for this.
No, I can't imagine.
And you are making God retreat further into his abyss by thinking that there is. Well, so I heard you don't have anything readily available.
I really don't. I'm kind of running dry on the old.
This is one of those moments where I wish that it was socially acceptable to take photos of one's insane bowel movements for posterity.
Well, hold on. There was a website. They
was it RateMyPoop.com?
No, it was called Urinal Poop.
Oh, there we go. Listen, my own weird proclivities have given you inspiration.
So, yeah, it is shock.jpg time.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
Saved by the bell, last minute,
Saved
which
by my
was urinalpoop.org. Couldn't get the .net, couldn't get the .com. Yeah,
the organization of urinal poop.
It was a basic front page. There wasn't really anything there, but the gallery was where it's at. It is 5 separate images of someone pooping in a urinal. So the first one here is kind of basic. Got to be honest. It's
not a lot going on there. That is not the Michael Jordan of shitting in a urinal.
It's a little brain shaped one.
Yeah, that person needs to drink more water.
Photo 2. Contributed anonymously from Harvey Mudd College. Gotta love that. That's
Mudd with 2 D's.
Yeah.
I respect that.
So this one's a little looser. It's definitely made some streaks in the bowl. It's filling up that bowl.
That slapped the porcelain. That made a sound.
That
sounded like a bird. That sounded like a bird hitting the window.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Here's another one contributed by Lord Shang. Here's some candy bar shaped little nugs there floating around. And this is one of the ones where the urinal's partly clogged too.
Yeah.
So you gotta wonder. The plastic bit that holds the urinal puck is just floating around in piss and shit. Like, well, that's not helping at all.
No, it's not making anything better.
Number 4. I think this is the one that I laugh the hardest at because it's just like
it looks like melted fudge.
Yeah, it's very thick, tightly coiled dog shit look. You know that one?
Yeah, not a fan.
And then the final image, number 5. A nice greasy log on top of the blue protective piece there. And it's just sitting there. Moist. It's the moist one.
I have my own urinal poop story.
Oh, please. Gotta hear this.
Well, I worked at Guitar Center when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
It was a guy that worked in accessories with me. He had the opening shift. I had like the mid/close shift. I came in and he was like really flustered. I mean, he was kind of a nervous, flustered guy. He was like raised Mormon.
Oh, boy.
So it had like all of the weird Mormon baggage about having like extra food in the basement. He was cool. He's gone to live a relatively normal life. Unlike a lot of the people that worked at that store with us at that time.
Yeah.
But he like was kind of flustered. I'm like, what's up, man? And he's like, you know, such and such? And I go, yeah. He's like, well, he got really pissed off that I wouldn't sell him some like Seymour Duncan pickups at the price that he wanted. So he went to the urinal and took a shit in the urinal. And it's still there.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. I gotta go check it out. And yeah, I mean, it was true. It was some turds in the urinal. and the thing that always like got us, I remember the store manager, who's this guy from New Jersey, just being like, isn't that guy a fucking dentist? Took a shit there. That guy's got money. He drives a fucking Mercedes. What a prick.
What a prick indeed.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I mean, and that same guy and that same store manager had also said one of the truest things anyone has ever said, as far as I'm concerned, as far as sound hitting my ears. And he was talking about the bathrooms are always a point of contention because, as he once said, you know, I've worked in schools.
Mm-hmm.
I have worked in gas stations, and there's just something about Guitar Center that makes people go like, you know what? I want to take a nasty shit and I want to get some on the ceiling. I remember there was a kid who got hired. He was friends with another person, this chick that worked the door, and they were both right out of high school. And I was talking with him, and his name was also Brian. He was like, yeah, I'm just kind of like taking a gap year before I go to college. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. Whatever. Like, kind of figure shit out. I'm talking like this to a guy who's like not even probably a year younger than me. Like, yeah, man, figure your shit out. Don't be
trying to be understanding, trying to be a good person.
Okay, yeah, that's whatever. Like, ain't nothing wrong with taking a gap year and like taking a breather and figuring it out. Yeah, sure. And one of the assistant managers was like, hey, Brian's the shitter's clogged.
Oh God.
And I mean, it was so nasty. We went into the back in the warehouse, got plastic gloves, duct taped them to our wrists. About 20 minutes into unclogging this catastrophe in the handicap stall, which is kind of like the penthouse suite of the bathroom.
Yeah.
This guy's just like, you know what? I think I actually will take up my dad up on his offer and work for his siding company. And then we never saw that guy again.
That feels so real.
It was like his first day. Yeah. His first day. Yeah, you gotta clean this abysmal situation in the shitter. And that actually used to be the punishment on Sundays and Saturdays. If it was a hot day for sales and you weren't fucking making any money, if you weren't bringing in anything, you gotta go clean the bathroom. Because Saturdays is when people are like, you know what? I'm just going to grab into the toilet and just take a little bit of doo-doo water sprinkle on the wall. And I'm also going to write my initial. Dude, people would fucking heat up that bathroom.
Oh, no.
That,
the Guitar Center?
Dude, people would fucking heat up the bathroom at Guitar Center. It is the most cursed bathroom of anywhere I've ever worked, except for 2 jobs ago.
I was gonna say the music venue. No,
honestly, the Firebird never got.
Yeah, their bathrooms weren't bad.
Yeah.
I've seen venue bathrooms that are.
I mean, you could talk about the Galaxy's bathroom.
Yeah,
or
terrible.
The original Creepy Crawl.
Even the new one, they kept the crappy bathroom curse somehow.
Yeah, amazing that the shitty venue just was shitty all around.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of fits. Kind of.
You know who we should get on? We should get Matt Picker to talk about.
Oh man,
the Creepy Crawl.
Oh boy,
rules.
Oh, you know what? That's good.
I'm gonna put a little feeler out to my dude. We're talking about this guy like he's just some guy we know, but he's like been in like the thank you notes of like a dozen like platinum selling records.
Yeah, very strange.
Very strange. Like this guy who like is very unassuming and humble has been like in the Sepultura would like to thank Matt Picker over at SLM.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Like, he was like, there's a photo of me and like Slash at NAMM, and like just one of those guys that you would never know has had like a really interesting life.
Yeah.
And he's just a dude that likes to BMX and skateboard and play drums.
Fucking A, dude. I mean, sometimes, those are the guys you want in your corner, if I'm being honest. Time for the breath mint.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
Time for the breath mint.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. We're not shitting in the urinal today.
Well, I might if you maybe disagree with me on the one thing we do have as a mutual
thing to talk here. Yeah.
You want to start with that?
Yeah. So you put a little movie on the Plex there for mutual consumption. A little movie by M. Night Shyamalan called Spangela. Called Trap. Which
he bees in the
which
trap.
Did not involve
little delayed reaction to that
joke. 2 episodes in a row, I just found myself going down a real dark path with my manner of talk, and I'm like, you know what? Ain't worth it having it on the record like that. You know what? Just imagine what's the most awful, immature thing I could have gone with.
Okay.
And just act like that's there. Perhaps your manner of interpreting or making that joke would be funnier than me. Who knows? I'll just leave it like this. I think, I think a lot of the trans panic is, I think the genesis of that is trans women got too hot.
That's true.
It is. Trans women got too hot. All these little college Republican boys don't know how to deal with their feelings because their dads are awful.
Yeah.
And they grew up in a terrible patriarchal society. And you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with it.
No.
You know what? You're attracted to what you're attracted to. You know what, man? Just fucking sort your shit out. Don't make it everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, fucking
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Jesus. No, the movie's not about a house where you mix crack. So it's instead a movie about a psycho killer trapped at a musical concert. I hate that the trailer spoiled this, because if you came into it not knowing, and major spoilers for Trap if you're planning on seeing it, skip ahead maybe 2-3 minutes. If you came into it not knowing that Josh Hartnett was the killer, I think it might have made the first 10 minutes weirder and kind of funnier.
Yeah.
Where he's acting all weird and he's noticing the cops and the kids, because this was PG-13, so I saw my kids. They were both guessing, because they have this weird tendency to like try to figure out
like my grandpa.
Try to figure out what's going to happen in the movie, and my daughter got it right. She said, "Oh, I bet he's the killer that they're after." I was like, I didn't want to say anything because I like to preserve that sort of thing.
Shut the fuck up.
Right. I think they didn't see any ads for it, whereas I did, because it wasn't marketed to teens; it was marketed to adults. Even though it's a PG-13 movie, it doesn't have a need to be an R. It's more of a thriller than a horror movie. Obviously, it's the type of movie that it is. And boy, I gotta say, overall, I think it's very tense. It's got some weird, unintentional comedy running throughout it, and I think Josh Hartnett kills it. That's where I'm at. I liked it. What did you think?
I think you're right about the tension.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I was in a situation where I was going to watch it because my girlfriend, she left for work, and then she got cut. So she was driving from work, and I'm like trying to finish it before she gets home.
Oh, no. Different kind of tension.
But then I had like stop because like the dog wanted to go out.
Yeah.
And then the dog wanted to go out, take a nasty shit. And then the dog came in and did a nasty barf. And I'm like, can I just watch this movie for more than 15 minutes without being interrupted?
Yeah.
And that kind of like took me out of the rhythm, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it's one of his better movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's an unintentional commentary about the police state we live in.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because like a British woman, we're going to molest all of the men. We're going to check their penises and cocks. Make sure they're really men and that they're not the butcher.
Oh, yeah, that was
weird sex pervert British woman thing.
Yeah, and she's the FBI's profiler?
Yeah. We got to check their penises and cocks and make sure they're clean. If they have a dirty penis, they need to go into the box. Yeah, like it's a show for little girls. Why would a man be here?
Yeah.
To see a hot woman.
Yeah.
Who's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Yes.
Who I think does a very respectable job.
Yeah, I enjoyed her performance as Lady Raven. I thought she did okay.
I think the movie kind of goes wonky once you leave the stadium.
That's what I've heard a lot of people say too. I think there's
I'm also heavily opposed to Allison Pill as a weird suburban mom.
I don't know. I think it works.
It really fucked with my head.
Yeah?
Like, this is Kim Pine? Like, I can't.
Yeah.
And from that one show about the advanced computer and the people dying.
Devs,
yeah. It was one of those things where like, am I old? Am I dying? Like one of those things like oh gosh, this is what it means. Like, oh, I wish I was young again.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't. Like the time marching forward. Fuck me.
Yeah.
God damn it. I need to go out. I need to go buy a gun. You know, like
or like anytime I see Naomi Watts as somebody's mom in a thing, I'm like,
fuck, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I can't. I'm like, when Allison Pill gonna show up? Is she like a police officer? I'm like, she's the wife. This is bad.
Come on. Yeah. I was definitely disappointed by the lack of Allison Pill in the movie, for sure.
I mean, she's a peach. I think once you leave the stadium, it gets a little funny. The concept starts to get a little weird.
It wobbles a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Though, that being said, the back third does have some cool moments. There's some good tension. I feel like it could have gone somewhere better than it did. Like,
you mean like darker?
Maybe darker.
Because I think people complained about that in The Visit, where it was like, yeah, it's a little grim, don't you think?
I don't know. I think The Visit's just right. And
it's I agree.
Darkness and despair.
Yeah. For a, what you would consider a post-flop era M. Night movie, I think we've got another banger on our hands here.
Yeah, it's not the trees. Perhaps it's society.
The Happening, yeah, I know.
I still think The Happening had a couple good beats to it.
I was going to say, the
opening.
opening's fantastic.
I think it's kind of a dog shit movie, but there are a couple of parts where like, oh, that was really good. I wish the rest of the movie was as good as this.
Yeah, I had a lot of the same feelings about Old. Like there's some moments, and moment to moment, there's some great stuff, but...
Don't tell Drake about the beach that makes you old.
I'm never going to go there, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like his track record, I mean, he had a couple of real dog shit. I mean, Avatar: The Last Airbender was a dog shit movie. I make no bones about it. After Earth was a dog shit movie. He had a string of flops, 2, maybe 3 if you count The Happening. Now I think he's reestablished his bona fides. He took some time off. He did some TV stuff. He did that show Servant.
Yeah, I think Old is a perfectly fine movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a perfectly fine movie. I wish it were better. I feel like it would be a better R-rated movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think he's ever really going to top like Signs or The Sixth Sense. I remember seeing The Sixth Sense with my grandparents, and my grandpa at the very end going like, "I knew the whole entire time
Bullshit.
that guy was dead." And
Bullshit.
Like, yeah, bullshit. You were sleeping.
Yeah.
You snoring, old man.
When people try to like claim that they outsmarted the movie, like
This makes me think of the fucking Norm Macdonald on The View. Watch it, and he's like, I couldn't watch Twilight Zone growing up because my dad would come in there and be like, what's this one, a goddamn ghost?
Yeah, it's a whole thing too. Like a lot of people, and it's not just old people, it's not just any particular group of people, but like people see movies now as a puzzle to be solved and not an experience to be had.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's problems, I think, that they have in like Long Legs and stuff, is like they saw the movie as a puzzle to be solved. I'm like, yeah, this is not that. This is
Long Legs is just eerie.
Yeah. Vibes-based movie. I think some people got it, which is why it kind of got the word of mouth that it did. But I think a lot of the reviews I'm seeing now that it's hit video on demand, are tanking the average because they're like, what the hell is this?
It's not as good as the Nicolas Cage movie where he's the guy in the dreams.
Dream Scenario.
Dream Scenario.
Yeah.
Dream Scenario is...
Well, that's like if Charlie Kaufman wrote a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, the ennui and just the weirdness of that film is unselling in a way that few other things I think have achieved in recent years. But Long Legs was fine. It is exactly what I think of every adult that listens to T-Rex. Like, that is like...
No, you think you said that when we were leaving the theater, and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, that is like when I was younger, every older, like, white guy that I ever met that was really into T-Rex was just like that.
Puffy and
just like, yeah. I'm going to play my Les Paul and wear my pork pie hat.
Other than Trap, you got anything for this week?
Yeah. Have you heard of a little TV show called You?
Yes, I enjoyed the first couple seasons of You. I think I tapped out when they moved to L.A. So
that is the second season where
that is the second. Okay, with Chris D'Elia.
Yeah, which is really weird.
Weirdly prophetic. Yeah,
like wow, you really cast the right guy for that role.
Method acting is what he's going to say. Yeah.
God, that video of Chris D'Elia being told that Snapchat messages don't really disappear.
It's up there with Dr. Disrespect getting some bad news during an Elden Ring stream, and you can see, even behind the glasses and the wig, the face just falls. And then, like, there's a couple of deep breaths, and then, like, well, we're going to quit the stream tonight, guys. That kind of reaction. It's that same...
Yeah. Anyways.
You.
So, You is about a young man named Joe, who is a bookseller. And
in New York City,
he falls in love with a English major, as we all do at some point in our life.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
Named Beck. Turns out this is an incredibly mentally unstable man that is able to most often maintain a facade of normalcy and actually quite a bit of quirky charisma. A guy you wouldn't think to point out in a lineup.
Right. But he is a stalker, I guess you could say.
Yeah. In the first season, he's most certainly stalking his intended paramour. That's basically the first 3 or 4 episodes are stalking, and then he then enters a relationship with this woman, and it really goes some wild ass places, and it fucking falls apart in some wild ass fucking ways. And at the end of the first season, he's like, "Well, I gotta go move to LA now because I've soiled the nest.
I've made a bit of a mess of things here." In
Yes,
New York,
and also the fact is that his ex-girlfriend, Constance, or whatever her name is, Candace, who he thought either that he killed her or that she was in Italy, actually returns.
Yeah, depending on who you ask. Yeah,
returns, and he decides to change his identity and move to LA and start again. And the problem with the second season for me and its start is that it's all a little too convenient how it kind of slides right back into place. But where once it finds its footing, the second season is really interesting. And you see Joe, now going by the name of Will, repeating his patterns, repeating his obsession, and his inability, despite his antisocial behavior and his mental illness, his inability to actually get out of his own fucking way when it seems like he actually does have a genuine connection with something or someone. And because of his twisted interpretation of what is normal behavior or acceptable behavior, things really do fucking fall apart. We are on the 8th episode of the second season, so please don't scroll past that.
Yep.
And the revelation, well, there's like several revelations.
I was going to say, there's a lot of them.
Is like, wow, I didn't know it could go there.
It's both good and frustrating. As you said, Joe/Will, he continually trips over his own dick and creates problems where he could have quite easily avoided them. It's a pattern of behavior.
It's a cycle of mental illness. It is an interesting dynamic because it is a show where the main protagonist is someone that you find yourself rooting for.
Right.
And also like minutes later fucking despising.
Yeah.
I knew this guy.
Okay.
I knew this guy in a couple different presentations when I was in my late teens, early 20s. They were always the kind of guy where you felt like an asshole for saying that you could see through the facade. You know, there are certain things you value at that age when you're like a bored young man in the Midwest with no like direction. And you do really kind of just are able to sniff bullshit on someone who is absolutely drowning in pussy. And I hate to say, I hate to say that, like, looking back and still looking in the frame of like, you don't deserve all that trim. like you never did.
Yeah.
You never did. You never will.
Well,
there are kids starving in Africa.
Yeah, you asked last episode who ate all the pussy. It's that guy.
Yeah, that would fucking beat in their neighbor's skull for just a whiff of it. And there you are.
Yeah, wasting it.
It's,
on you.
Yeah, you with your terrible self-published sci-fi book. And using that to wander your way into so many beds and between so many legs. And now you like work for your brother's animation company or some bullshit out in California. You're living a way better life than either one of us, but you know what? We ain't you.
Yeah.
And for that, I will always be grateful.
Yeah, I've got a few of those kind of people. Yeah, but so you season 2, okay?
Yeah. It was the first season was triggering,
right?
Because again, like I know this fucking guy.
Yeah,
and they're all named like Andrew.
Yeah.
The low-key most psychotic white boy you'll ever meet in your life is always named like Andrew,
Michael. But Joe. Yeah, Joe's the
the
one in the show. But like, yeah, there's a Joe that I know too. That's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Not that I think about things necessarily in those value systems now as a 38-year-old adult. But looking back then, the currency and the value system being like, yo, that dude's faking the fucking funk right over there. And there's a couple guys like that I knew, or like not necessarily in the sense of like romance, but just like in life, where like you are a fucking fraud. I hope I could just like look at you and tell that you were full of shit. Well, yeah, like in the first season, his alcoholic neighbor is like just like totally fingers him. It's just it's like you are a fucking freak.
Yeah,
and he ain't wrong.
No,
I know the type. You're it.
Well, speaking of how how did this get made was the question I had on my mind when I saw The People's Joker. Brian, have you seen The People's Joker?
I have not.
I threw this one on late at night thinking, okay, I'm going to fall asleep and I'm not going to be able to talk about this. But no, I was wrapped for the entire runtime. The video on demand copy, though, does include a very, very long wedding in the opening where the star Vera Drew is getting married to an inflatable wrestler toy with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker face just taped to it. It's absurd, and it's all an ad for the fact that it's on video on demand. And I'm like, that's where I got this, is video on demand. Why am I seeing a 15-minute ad for it being on video on demand when I'm So that was like primed me to be mad about the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's already making you feel like a dumbass.
Once you get past that, it's really funny. It's genuinely this handmade pastiche. There's all these... it's a movie that is definitely made with a singular vision, but with no budget, and with, another company's characters. It's all DC characters. It's all... Underneath all of that, the Batman parodies, all the riffs on the Joker, because there's 4 or 5 different versions of the Joker show up as characters in this movie. But it really is Vera Drew's story about her coming up, realizing that she's trans, going into the New York City comedy community, getting abused. Like, it's got some real dark shit happening.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
In this thinly veiled Batman pastiche. So as a Batman pastiche, it only works because it's so badly... It's like this intentional...
Like kind of Tim and Eric-y.
Tim Heidecker shows up as Perry White, who's doing an Alex Jones impression as. So that's Maria Bamford plays Lorne Michaels.
Amazing.
And they really rip into the UCB group quite extensively.
Oh, well, you know what? Like, already I'm intrigued to watch this.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal in its takedown of UCB, of rewriting the Batman mythology to be about, rich New York guys taking in young people who are questioning their sexual identity and kind of entering them into lives of sexual servitude and calling them Robin. Just some real interesting concepts that are in this movie. It's also weirdly deeply personal. It really does revolve around Vera Drew and, coming out to her mom. And it's better than it has any right to be. The constituent parts feel like they wouldn't work. A trans coming-of-age story would work on its own, yes. But everything else with the non-existent sets and they had the CG on the penguin's nose in some scenes because they couldn't get the nose. There's some definite technical limitations that they really had to overcome. There's some scenes where it's just very clearly everything is a green screen and they're trying to make it work, but the seams are showing. Not literally, but you can kind of suss out that this is all kind of. And there's a lot of backgrounds that are just hand drawn and not well. Not a matte painting, but just someone did cardboard and it's Michel Gondry, Tim and Eric, that kind of sweeted thing. So aesthetically, it's all over the place. You really have to sit down and watch it with an open mind, just okay, let this movie in, because if you're picking apart all the little shit that's going on in the background, you're going to miss the whole point of the movie, which is that comedy is hard and being trans is harder.
Being trans is harder than being a troop.
Amen to that. I will salute them every day of the week. But yeah, just what a tour de force. What a fantastic movie. I think a lot of it was also just baiting Warner to try to get this movie taken.
Right.
Try. I dare you. But
which resulted in a ton of publicity.
Exactly. Vera Drew, a natural performer, she's funny and just kind of, and even hits the emotional marks in these unexpected ways. It goes some weird places, but I love it. It definitely is one of those things where I feel like the people who grew up watching Rocky Horror Picture Show at the midnight show automatically have kind of a clue into what this movie's going to be like. Not the acting's not all that great. The sets look kind of but the overall experience is just fun.
The aesthetic.
Yeah.
The vibe.
Yeah, it definitely is a YouTuber made this. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoy it. People's Joker, video on demand, really fun little movie. I don't necessarily need to own the Blu-ray because, again, it was,
It was shot on a fucking potato.
Yeah, there's some scenes where you're like, oh, okay, that's the best shot you got. Huh? Okay,
That was your best take. Huh?
Yeah.
couldn't get him to do that twice, huh?
No, and then there's
someone had to pick up their kid.
Yeah, kind of. But for all of that, it's still enjoyable. So that's the mark of a good movie, I think. If you can look past all those flaws and still see the beating heart of the creator inside, that's kind of cool. On that note, I think it's time for us to hit the old dusty trail. Brian, where can they find you on the old internet?
Yeah, if you want to find me on the old Twitter, it's ishotguidibord, ishotguidibord. If you want to find me on Instagram, I'm over there as a music photographer. That's at a music photographer. If you want to check out my photography portfolio, you can go over to assholemusicphotographer.com. If you want to go check out the world's hottest 500 internal error message, you can go over to a music photographer because apparently some WordPress update completely borked my website.
Oh no.
So now I gotta figure out how to fucking I'm like trying to talk to a band's agent and being like, oh yeah, you remember I covered them last summer, and I'm like wanting to be like, yeah, here's my coverage from last summer. Because they reached out like, you want to cover this? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, who are you with again? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I did this. And I'm like, oh, my website doesn't work, so I guess I might not be photographing Young the Giant next week. We'll fucking see.
Well, by the time this goes up, hopefully, knock on wood, we'll
find some time. If you want to check out the last good and perhaps the only media website left in St. Louis, you can go over to theartsstl.com. Hopefully, by the time this goes up, I'll have my little piece up for King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, which I am photographing tomorrow night over at the factory. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that show. Their opener might be the worst thing I've heard in a while.
Oh, no.
This band from New York called Geese, where it's like, okay, which one of you guys has like a parent that's like a CEO or vice president at like an oil company? But one of the few good things about COVID is that like it kind of cut out some of the bullshit from the creative world. But it turns out there's still apparently a dollar amount that gets you on a tour with a band like King Gizzard and Lizard. I listened to their latest record on the drive home from work, and I was like gritting my teeth and like sweating.
That bad, huh?
I was like fucking like, no way. I'm like no way this song has like 2 million plays.
It gets recommended via Spotify for some reason.
Yeah, it just feels like the sort of thing to put before I hand it over to you. Mm-hmm. Put in perspective, folks. When I first started photographing or writing about music in the late aughts, like in 2008 and 2009, this would have been the sort of thing when we sat in Laura Hammett's living room when we had the Playback STL meetings, that when she started reading off the one sheet from the record label, we would chuckle and go, that sounds terrible. This is one of those records.
Okay, yeah.
It'd be one of those things that someone would take because it sounds so bad. Like, I need a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I need a laugh. I want to hear what like this conspiracy theorist rapper from Tampa.
Yeah, when I was at KDHX, we had that cutout bin. Like if something was in the stacks and it hadn't been played, it went to the cutout bin. I was forever digging in that, looking for like, okay, what's this? Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh. The music of George Takei, oh my.
I don't know. I think George might have got played on KDHX more than some of these other bands that didn't make the cut. That sounds bad. I hope, hopefully you can skip that and just do King Gizzo and Lizzo's.
It's going to be a 3-hour set.
I
was watching a video of their performance in Nashville a couple of nights ago, and my girlfriend had me like in the middle of watching this, like, leave the house and like check something at her old place because she thought some mail got dropped off there. And I think I was out of the house for like 15-20 minutes, and I came back, they're still playing the same fucking song.
Nice. Yes, let's go.
Let's fucking go. And but like the thing was, like, I was like, oh cool, the song isn't over. And so because usually when I find things like that, like come across things like that in life, it's a thing that makes me frown.
Yeah,
like really bad. Like I smelled something really terrible, and also I just like opened up a letter that says I have jury duty. But this was like, oh okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this has still got a sick groove going. All right, I fuck with this.
You didn't make the doo-doo face.
I did not make the gas face.
Exactly.
Anyways, Jason, where can they harass you on the internet?
Oh boy, you can harass me in a number of ways. My favorite of which is still Twitter and Blue Sky. There I am, Video Crime, VIDEOCRIME. Any place there's a video crime, chances are that's me. That includes Letterboxd, a bunch of other stuff. You can also find me as part of a podcast that's not this one. It's called Submitted for the Approval of the Midnight Pals. And there, I play a fictionalized version of Stephen King. Oh, we're a month away. I can't wait for you to hear the season 2 episodes. They're coming out. First season still available. midnight-pals.simplecast.com or anywhere your podcasts are sold. You can contact the show by giving us a call, 314-246-9766. That's 314-AHOY POO if you like to spell with your telephone. This week we're asking callers to tell us your impressions of the movie Trap, or what era of Joker you would be and why. Again, 314-246-9766. And kick them nasty thoughts. You can also reach us, Jason at 48minutesdogsbarking.com or Brian with a Y at 48minutesdogsbarking.com. Shoot us an email with whatever it is that you want. Complaints, compliments, manifestos, videos of the Daniel Pearl beheading set to yakety sax, whatever it is. Do that thing. And you can support the show, patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. There you will find the sub-show Thanks I Hate It. It's a post-show hangout. You'll also find the Mind Zones, a little experimental weirdness. You're also going to find, if we get 10 people at the $10 level, the 90-minute commentary track on Garo Monster Home Delivery. That is the Japanese puke fetish video.
If we could get there, I think we could make the world a better place.
All our problems will be solved, yeah. So that's patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. Well, that about does it for the program.
I think he just puked out of the coconut tree.
You exist in all the in the context of all the vomit porn that came before you.
Yes.
That about does it for the show. As we always say at this time, namaste, good luck. Give mommy a good gut fucking. Eat the knife. Who ate all the pussy? Suck a fuck a ding dong. That's about all I got.
I'm gay.